You know what it is, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
You know who it is, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
Odie, Mari, Sodi, Mari,
Mari Sodi, Mari Sodi.
Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo?
Are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy. It's the Black and Snerdy podcast with Odie and Maurice.
With you announcing what the
drops are going to be as I am doing them for the podcast. Yes, that is the trend, that is the statement, and it is here to stay.
I think that we're going to have to figure out a way to do that while not alienating for our live listeners. Hello, live listeners.
Hello, live listeners. It's for the benefit of the live listeners.
Yeah, but
it's
we
so
also
that
have to think about our audio listeners.
I will play it by ear then.
Let's just see.
Yes, let's just see.
Maybe, you know what? When you do a drop, I can press the mute button.
Maybe. You
know?
Maybe.
And then that way it's a more well-rounded.
Maybe. We'll see.
Because I don't know if I would want to hear someone screaming air horn while the air horn is going. I'm just saying, it's an idea. We're throwing it out there.
It's an idea.
We're working on it as we go.
And it's okay. Welcome. Who are we?
So, hi.
Hello.
I'm Odie.
And I'm Maurice.
And you're listening to the Black and Snerdy podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together. We are on episode 51.
Yes, we are.
Which is very exciting.
Cracking off a new 100. Or a new 50. Cracking off a new 50.
A new 50 to get to 100.
Yes, to get to 100.
And we're trying something new. We're going to see how well it goes to do more lives.
Yes.
Because last live, our inaugural live, not first edition, our inaugural live, we felt like it was really fun.
Yeah.
We would like to try to do them more.
Had so much fun, and I want to keep going.
So we're going to see what it's like, and we might not do it every week. Maybe every other one.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes, how many often we want to ramp it up.
We're still playing it by ear. We're still figuring it out.
We're moving and shaking.
Yes, these are moves that are being made. But you're very welcome for the update.
Now we're gonna go back to our regularly scheduled program of
yes.
Close your eyes.
The Black and Snerdy Pod Q&A with O&M.
Pick a card, any card.
Yes,
all right.
I'm going to pick a first card. Do you want me to ask it first, or are you going to ask first?
No, you go first. You go first.
Okay. Who gives you the best advice?
Oh, man. This is a hard question because I feel like I have a lot of people in my life that give me really great advice.
Yes.
But
it definitely says who gives the best advice, not
for
whom the group is that gives the best advice.
But you
don't have to say it if it is somebody, and then as long as you know that it is somebody. You can describe them.
I'm gonna say
like their character traits.
If I have a list of people, but I'm gonna say the number one is my therapist, and I'm gonna say her because I'm paying her, so she should 100% be giving me the best advice.
Air horns. I didn't actually do this drop.
You didn't, so I was confused as to why.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We should.
I wanted to try both. I'm trying both.
I think that
I'm trying.
Just press
doing the air horn without saying air horn,
okay.
And then doing the saying the air horn instead of doing it.
We're trying it out.
I'm just trying new things. That's all. I'm just trying to be progressive.
You know what? I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Innovation. Next question.
So yes. No, not next question. Next person.
Oh, next person. No, that's me. It's almost as if I was trying to avoid this question. Anyhow, jokes. So, I gotta say, I have a litany of friends and family who give me the best advice, but I'm also gonna go with my therapist. My first therapist, Dr. Kyle. Dr. Kyle, if you're watching this,
Dr. Kyle.
Shout out to you because you were the first person to do it. You were the first person to take this mind in and help sort through it while also learning my own personal jargon and lexicon. Like that's where we ended up coming up with the blue period. That's what I like. Yeah. And he's like, so weeks later he'd be like, were you in the midst of your blue period? And I'm like, good on you. So shout out to you, Dr. Kyle.
Yes. And I think that if you're my therapist, I feel like that should be the best advice I'm getting every time I speak with you, because you are you are the expert in your field. Also, I'm paying for it, so I would hope that person would be, holding it down.
It down.
My turn.
Yes.
How is your personality the same as or different from when you were a child? So, how is your personality different from when you were a child to now?
Well, I think about money a lot more, for sure. Like,
is that a personality trait?
No, yes, it is. Like, because there was a time where I can remember where I never thought about money. It just
really,
yeah, it
wow.
and I remember the day that it happened was because my grandmother had just bought an N64 and I wanted a game, but they said I had to buy it, so I literally saved up all of my birthdays and Christmas and a bunch of money from doing chores. Because, yes, shout out to my mom for giving me some money sometimes to do chores. I said sometimes, like not every single time. Sometimes it was just like, no, you need to clean your room. I'm not paying you to clean your room. Anyhow, shout out to you, Mom. But what was I saying?
Your
therapist.
Your therapist. No, man.
How am I different? I think about money.
Your money. Okay. That's great. I've always thought about money, so I don't think there was ever a time when.
What does that say about capitalism in America? Just children thinking about money coming out the womb.
That's definitely an interesting addition to your personality, but I definitely
just sucking on a pacifier, thinking about taxes.
This rent is too damn high, so there's no way to not think about money.
Oh yeah, because you're constantly hearing your parents complain about how the rent is too damn high, and they think, they'll never remember
money.
Yeah.
All right.
Plus that song, Money, 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 Money.
For the love of money.
Yes.
That one?
No. The one that goes, money, 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 money.
Oh, I think I was thinking about that, but I was giving
doing
the one
something
song
else
with that melody.
Yeah.
I was mixing them up. They're same time period, though.
And the more money we come across, the more problems we see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of songs about
money. There's a lot of songs about money.
Okay, for me, I feel like my personality, honestly, is pretty similar from when I was a child. Like, I've always been very intensely interested in things.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can get intense when you're interested in stuff.
And I've always been someone who has, like, a big personality and likes to talk to people.
Yes.
And like ask questions purely for the sake of just knowledge and not like some like, I don't know, nefarious
yes.
behavior. Just like I'm just curious.
Yes. Understood.
So I think for the most part, my personality is the same. There's just sometimes where I might hide my personality.
Okay.
Because I don't want people to say I'm weird or something.
Right.
Adults are boring,
right,
annoying.
Of course.
But otherwise, I think my personality is pretty much the same. Just like it's matured since childhood.
Yeah, I'm still childlike in many ways, in that I could be a brat sometimes. And I watch a lot of cartoons.
Well, I love animation.
I love animation and animated features and animated series and stuff. With the exception of like I don't watch like the the older ones that are still around anymore. Like, I don't watch The Simpsons or Family Guy. Like,
Yeah,
I
no.
have my limits. You know
They're
what I
just,
mean?
I would watch older episodes, but like
I don't
newer
even
ones,
watch. I don't even go back and watch older episodes.
I don't go back and watch newer episodes or old episodes, but like if I'm
it's
somewhere
on,
and it's on, I'm not gonna be like ugh. Whereas
Yeah.
like I definitely would probably like try and change the channel if I saw a newer episode.
Yes.
All right, so those are just the two questions we have for this time and place.
Yes.
So we have to get ready to get into the podcast, but first we're going to do a RIP. Unfortunately, I mean, we did have, I feel like, a little bit of a break from people passing away, but this last week we lost two very important Black people. One was Bernard Shaw, who's CNN's first chief anchor. He had been with the network for more than 20 years, and he died at the age of 82 from pneumonia. I mean, being a Black journalist, even now, is extremely terrifying sometimes. But I could only imagine when he came on, all the things that he had to deal with and muck through, and all of the ways that he created a path for us all to be doing what we're doing now in all the different ways. Like, without all these trailblazing journalists, we wouldn't have podcasts or anything
There
that
we
people
go.
are doing. So
Yeah.
we always have to pay homage to the ones that came before us.
For the
And
forerunners.
thank you very much for your time and for your gifts and your wisdom. Also, unfortunately, the comedian David A. Arnold passed away at 54. And he's been in a lot of different things, but
Yes.
I only recently, I became aware of him during the pandemic because he would have like all these different videos with like him and his kids and just his family.
Yes.
And they weren't like those like annoying staged family videos. They
Yes.
were just like, I'm just here with my kids and we're like talking. But they're just like a naturally like funny man with like a really sweet family. And he just was on a Netflix special. And he was only 54 years old, which is like really very young. And I feel so bad for his family. But of course, thank you again for everything that you did. And we're sending all of our love and our prayers to your family and loved ones, because I know this is obviously a devastating time, especially because it just came out of nowhere. They said that his sudden death was untimely, but doctors have ruled that the cause of death was natural causes. So, rest in peace to both of you, and
Prayers up.
again,
R.I.P. We're thinking about you.
everyone, love your family, hold on to your family, because
Give the people in your life flowers
yes.
while you can, while they're here. Just do it, you know?
All right. So we're going to go into the main sections. Okay, so I'm not going to lie to you, my friend. This week has not yielded the most joyous of news.
One could almost say this week has been not great.
I don't know why. I thought you were gonna have like something else to say. But
Absolutely not. I'm just
I thought there was
setting
something
up
else.
for these jokes. These
All right.
jokes that aren't
Okay.
going to be coming very fast, very far, but
Very fast or furious.
no, not Fast or Furious either. Just
Slow and calm.
yes, very slow and at a pace. At a specific nice breezy pace.
Okay, well, I'm just giving everybody the preface that like the shenanigans were being had. Lots of things have happened. So we're going to just do the quick updates first, and then we can just get into what things that are probably going to be longer.
Yes.
Discussion. All right. So
The meat.
we remember a few weeks ago we spoke about mystical Mr. Move
Get out
Get
the
Out
way.
the Way himself.
Yes.
Who was yet again, for I believe the third time, arrested for sexual assault and rape.
Yes.
So he's in Louisiana and he is facing a life sentence. And I want to say, I covered, when I was in college, I did the New York Times Institute at Dillard.
Yes.
And I covered a double rape case. And I found out then that in Louisiana, rape cases, it's like an automatic life term.
I did not know that.
And neither did I. So it was just like, it was a very obviously emotional trial for everyone involved. But I was like, wow, it's surprising that it's such a strict rape case or rape charges.
Yes.
Get such strict penalties, but that people are still not deterred.
Yeah.
From doing it because it's not like they have like the lowest rates in.
Yeah.
penalty.
I see what you're saying. That is something interesting to ponder.
Yes, it is. And we will
No, I agree with
ponder
you.
it.
Like I don't have a take on this.
It's just an update. You don't really have to have a take.
Good.
Okay. So
Good. Because I don't.
All right. Are you ready? There's another shitty update. So just prepare yourself.
Yeah. Warning.
Yeah. Also, another warning for traumatic possible mentions. But Aries Spears both Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish have at this point made statements about the alleged child abuse. Aries Spears said he's not running away from anything. He's not guilty of anything. He said it was an extortion case and it's a shakedown. Tiffany Haddish in her iOS press release on Instagram said that, of course, she believes the video should have never been made, but and we'll have more information soon with lawyers. It was much more eloquent than what Aries Spears is saying, but either way, the story is still unfolding. The plaintiffs are still saying that Tiffany and Aries need to be locked up. So it's still sad. It's still horrible. It's a horrible situation all around.
It's dark.
So
really, really dark.
Neither of these situations are good, but these are things that are happening in the world. We can't.
Yes.
We don't want to talk about them, but I mean, just sometimes they're just there.
Yeah.
All right, so those are the only updates.
Okay.
We're finished.
All right.
And so we're not going to get any happier. I'm just letting everybody know.
Thank you. Yet another warning.
I mean, one, it's
I know.
9/11.
Yes.
We have to I don't think that as an American or a New Yorker or someone from the DMV that either of us could be.
No, I know.
We can't be doing anything on this day and not talking.
Yes, of course.
About 9/11.
Of course, yes.
And it's just another one of those days where I feel like this time of year for me is always very weird. And I've talked to my therapist about it, and she's like, your body remembers trauma, even if you're not really thinking about it anymore.
Yeah, historical trauma, ancestral trauma that's just like baked into your DNA and bones and stuff.
Yeah, but just like things that happen to you,
Or
it's
in your
just
brain.
And 9/11 was such a traumatic time.
Yeah.
For us, especially like if you were living in New York.
Yes.
It was just extremely scary. So I feel like even though this time of year was usually something that I loved because I always loved back to school time. But it also now it just feels like there's some sort of cloud over.
Yeah, it feels ominous. Like
Yes.
everything just feels like there's like a tinge of the macabre in the air.
But you want to know what I feel like has made this day for me better in recent years.
How so?
What? One of my best friends, her birthday today. Shout out to you, Celeste. And I think about the joy of her being here, and that there are, as much as we can always commemorate the people and have a memorial for those who we lost that day, which I believe we should. We commemorate people all the time, so I think that is extremely valid. But I think that we also have to remember that there were other things that can make this day not feel so sad and terrifying when you remember it, because there was also life on that day.
Yeah. There were like Good Samaritans and like, you know, just people born, people united.
So even though,
you know, yeah, like
things can be terrible, but just like there's terrible things that happen, there's still,
not to say look on the bright side, but whatever the complex equivalent of that simple adage is.
Yes.
Yeah. Because Lord knows I don't know it off the top of my head.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, I did.
No,
I literally did get distracted.
It's fine.
So okay, now we're going to segue, and I hope this is the best segue that I can give you.
Okay.
So people, FYI, the Queen died.
Yeah.
Not Beyonce, not Queen Latifah, not Mary J. Blige. The Queen of England.
Not
Elizabeth.
KWEENs.
No, not them either.
Not the Queens of Comedy.
No, Monique is still alive and kicking. But the Queen of England, the head of the British monarchy, and all of the realms in which they govern or used to govern.
Yes.
At this point, died at 96 years old, natural causes. And Twitter, social media, but Twitter explicitly erupted. And and very specific versions of Twitter. You had Black Twitter, which is like anywhere across the African diaspora. You had Irish Twitter, Scottish Twitter, Indian, Polynesian,
you also had wrestling Twitter.
Really?
Yes.
That is it.
But that's for a specific reason.
Oh, okay. But all
and
banding
hip-hop
together
Twitter
to talk about how much majority of the people in those different demographics did not care and were not planning to have, a month of mourning for a woman who was the head of the symbol of like colonization, imperialism, that has decimated so many of our cultures.
Yeah.
And people were saying like, oh, that's so disrespectful.
Nah.
But I saw
I know that people were saying it. I'm not denying that people weren't saying it.
I saw this tweet in regards to 9/11 that made me think about this by Puff the Magic Hater, Miss Kelly M. Hayes. I think she's an abolitionist writer and organizer. And she said, given the scale of human loss the U.S. has openly embraced via COVID, 9/11 commemorations seem to send the message that it's tragic when other people kill a bunch of U.S.ians, but when our norms and policies take us out in far greater numbers, that's just life under capitalism, baby. Now, I know you're wondering, how is this related? Now, it's related because people, we say we'll never forget about 9/11, which, of course, it happened to us, never forget. But then people want everybody to forget about colonialism, even though many of our countries are really practically babies in their independence. Nigeria is only 61 maybe years old, and my father is 65, I believe. So it's not like these are long ago, it happened 400 years ago, and you're still holding a grudge. These are, you just a few decades ago supported a genocide against my people, so I'm not really sure why I should feel anything other than the sympathy of a person losing their life the way that people lose their lives every day, and say, wow, okay, so sorry to hear that, and then moving on with my day. Why should I have to mourn in a quote-unquote respectful manner to someone who, for a good part of their life, had no respect for me? That's it. Why are you looking at me like that?
No reason. I miss Betty White.
Do you know? Okay. Do you want to know what
It just made me miss Betty White.
Somebody on Twitter made the comparison that Betty White lived until 99, and Queen Elizabeth was only 96, so we won. Because she held out longer. I mean, honestly, the tweets have been hilarious.
The tweets have been hilarious.
And I just want everyone to know, like,
oh my God, these tweets.
Any person whose career has possibly caused people a significant amount of harm, there are going to be people when they die who are saying, I don't care, and that's great.
Yeah.
And I think you have to, like, it's different if like a singer dies, and then just because someone didn't like their music, they're like being disrespectful. Because that's like something like that didn't hurt you.
That's just like a subjective thing, because music is subjective. No. Her and her historical family and lineage legitimately and literally conquered the world and devastated nations and left ruin and installed dictatorships and did a bunch of bullshit. That's different than just saying that, like, oh, I didn't like her music, you know? Like, there's impact that's still being felt throughout the world down in our bones.
So I listened to the King Charles III. I listened to his address to the nation.
Yes.
Or to the world for the first time since his mother passed. And in it, he says something about, like, at the time his mother came into her queendom, that there were certain ideologies. Basically, he was saying there's certain ideologies at that time that, you know, they have tried to, like, evolve away from and, like, be different and change. And I embrace all of the different cultures and people in our realms and all that stuff. But it's like, I can even if what he says is true, that he really wants to keep doing charity work and helping people from different demographics, you know, have a great life, etc. But like, none of you have, except for Harry, none of you have openly said that anything that the British monarchy has done was wrong. And the things that you did were not, like, we have photographic evidence of it. Like, we know how you killed and maimed and committed genocide across the world. So you telling me now, well, sorry that our great-grandfather did that and my grandfather imposed these policies and that my mother kept saying, sure, continue. But this time, I promise you, it's going to be better. Please trust me. And act like I'm going to believe you. Because that just has not happened in the history of your people. It's very interesting that people only want to remember the negative crimes when it's people that they deem undesirable.
Right.
And it's not that I don't think that we should be able to, at some points, be able to get past the different things that any of these, and it's not just Britain. I mean, like, they don't get off on it. It's every single
it's
European country
all of them,
has,
yes.
for the most, or a majority of them, you know, they have something to reckon with. But, like, no one's going to get over anything until you actually address it.
Yes.
And we'll see what happens. But I will say that Meghan Markle and Harry looked super great.
Yes, they did. Of course, they
and
always
everybody
do.
loved them.
They always do. Our queen. That's our queen.
Meghan, just, you know, I think that she is channeling Princess Diana, who is doing backflips in heaven, while, you know, everybody else might be. We don't know where anyone else is, but we know that we know that people are tap dancing.
Can I tell you real quick how hip hop and wrestling Twitter was all over this?
Yes, please.
Because in the wrestling community, they said, now that the queen is dead, can we make William Regal our king? And William Regal is like this. He's like a wrestler's wrestler kind of guy that, like, everybody knows him and everybody respects him. And also he says, War Games! And in addition to that, hip hop was just like, now the queen's dead, can we make 21 Savage our king?
Oh,
Because he's from England.
So there's
21.
One thing that I would like you to play for the listeners, and I'm just gonna tell. Do you know what it is, or do I have to? Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just gonna tell our Facebook, Instagram livers, go to YouTube. Right now, if you're on with us, I'd like you to go to YouTube, and I want you to look up the title of soccer fans, Ireland, Lizzie in a Box. And it just really captures the heart and the spirit of the Irish people and how they feel about her passing.
Yes, it does.
Are we muted?
No, we're not.
Oh, I thought we were.
No.
The whole time. It has to be lit up.
To mute us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. But listen. This is what happens when we do things in the fly. We're learning.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm just letting you know.
Okay, no, thank you.
On live.
I mean, hey, it's live. They're gonna see the shenanigans that we're up to back here.
Normally, this is stuff you'd have to go on a Patreon to see, but we're giving it to you for free. So keep that in mind, all of y'all out there.
Speaking of Patreon, if you have one, go on there and change your password because all of their security people quit, which wasn't a topic we were going to talk about today, but you mentioned it. It just popped into my head. Okay, now, remember how I said there was some issues with people were going on and yelling about the queen? Some of them not giving her the, quote unquote respectful for life. One, Professor Uju Anya, who is a Carnegie Mellon professor, said, I believe it was that she hopes that she dies in agony. But it has been going viral around socials because people think everyone's overreacting about her being angry because she is Nigerian and a survivor, or her family are survivors of the Biafran War from Nigeria, which,
yes,
as we've mentioned before. And so she's like, I owe nobody anything who benefited and funded the death of my people.
Yeah.
And I think that people have to realize that if you are somebody who works in government, you work in the government for more likely like any Western country, America included.
Yes.
when you die, there are going to be tons of people who actually hate you because something that you have been a part of has been a detriment to their lives in big or small ways.
Yeah.
And we just all have to remember that. That's just the way that our terrible countries' governments are set up.
Yeah. Look, people are going to hate any and every president that we've ever had.
When Barack Obama died, I just want in 30, 40 years, when he's 100 years old, 100 plus, and he and Michelle go off to see the Lord.
Okay.
There are going to be people that didn't like him because of how some of the policies that he had to enact while president hurt and or killed in some way harmed their family. And you're just going to have to be okay with that. We're all going to have to be okay.
We all have like people who are going to, when we shuffle off this mortal coil, who are just going to dislike us or hate us. All of us. And we just have to accept that. And we have to accept that for them as well. That's just human beings, baby. That's just being a human being. Some people are just never going to like you. But you focus on the people that do, and you get by through the day. There you go.
You're right. Now, do you want to hear something related but also joyful?
Yes.
Something that was actually happy this week.
Yes, something good,
Speaking
Googa
of
Mooga.
Obama,
Speaking
something
of
good
Obama.
happened.
What a fun segue. That
Well, I did my best. Barack and Michelle came to the White House and had their portraits unveiled.
Yes.
And Michelle looked stunning.
Beautiful
She
was her name.
She's wearing this like ombre purple to red dress. She has braids in, looking gorgeous and chocolatey as usual.
Looking gorgeous.
Barack's wearing a black suit or navy suit, whatever. Guys' fashion's pretty boring. So he's wearing the same thing you see him wear all the time. Her portrait is she's sitting down on a red couch wearing that really pretty blue set, it's a baby blue dress that she wore, I want to say, to maybe one of his inaugurations or something like that. But she looks gorgeous, and he's standing there in a black suit again. He's
put against a searing white backdrop.
Searing white.
It is so that he actually looks like a 3D image. That's how searing
he does
it
look
does.
like he does.
Thank you.
He does.
So his fashion is just guy's fashion, but the portrait itself is fucking awesome as hell. We're gonna remember it.
Both of them look gorgeous.
They both stand out. Their eyes are following me across the room.
You're going to go there so we can go, oh my God, at homecoming, we should try to see if we can go look at the pictures.
Sure. It's probably going to be busy as hell with all those black people coming back to D.C. for Howard homecoming. You know.
I'm so
we are going to turn up like a motherfucker.
So
it is going to be obnoxious.
So obnoxious.
With how much I am going to be drinking.
Do you want to know what's not obnoxious?
What isn't obnoxious? Hit me with that thing that's not obnoxious. Please.
So,
Odie.
the Little Mermaid trailer dropped with Hailey Bailey. She sounds so good.
She sounds beautiful. I have been saying the word beautiful a bunch the last few minutes. But that's exactly how I feel. How did the trailer make you feel, Odie?
I mean, it was super basic, or not basic. It was
a teaser. It was more of a teaser than a trailer.
Because it's just you see the water and you hear the melody of part of their world going out, and then at the end of it when you see the blue and the words coming up, you hear her voice. But even that little snatch of little snippet of it, my heart.
Yes.
Part of my world is
It's your favorite Disney song.
Yes, it's it's top 5, if not 3, probably still almost 1. I could tell you more if I could think of other ones. That could be one, but right now it's number one, and I'm very excited.
Circle of Life, maybe.
Maybe.
Or
But-
I'll Make a Man Out of You. Mulan.
Yeah, I really love that one too.
Oh, Go the Distance and Hercules. Actually,
That-
half of that soundtrack is like top 5 songs
For you
by
love that one,
themselves.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you
Go
love
the
that.
Distance, Hero to Zero. That throwaway song with Phil, no, that wouldn't make the list. But like the reprieve at the very end. No chance, no.
I Won't
way,
Say I'm in
I
Love.
won't
That's my
say
favorite song.
I'm in love.
I won't say I'm in love.
Okay. What were we talking about? Little Mermaid.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Little Mermaid's coming out. I'm so excited. We're getting closer and closer to the release.
Yes, we are.
So I think it says here that it's coming 2023. Expected. IMBD says post-production expected May 26, 2023.
Do you
So does
think
that mean what post-production means that it would be out?
post-production means currently that they're working, like they've shot all the footage and now they're just editing the damn thing?
Okay, so 2023, around May.
And probably thinking about what the
June.
marketing is going to be.
Well, it's a good summer movie.
Yeah, I would say it would be a good movie to kick off the summer. Now, do you think they're going to release it on Disney Plus?
No,
Or do you think they're going to
in
do it in
theaters.
theaters?
Unless
because they
there's some-
just got finished releasing the the live action Pinocchio on Disney Plus, and that has Tom Hanks in it.
Yeah, but this is like a bigger moment.
I mean, Tom Hanks is still a big deal.
No, Tom Hanks is absolutely a big deal. But Pinocchio,
And
we've
also
seen that
a
a bunch
snack.
of times. Yeah, Tom Hanks is 100% a snack.
Yes.
We love Daddy Hanks.
Yum, yum, yum. Anyhow. continue.
But it's just that I think that this is a bigger moment. So I feel like they're gonna do actual theaters. And I wanna say on the trailer it said theaters, not
Okay.
streaming.
Okay.
But we'll see. If they don't, I will be very upset because I want to see it in theaters. I want to be dressed up.
Are you
wanna
gonna dress in the Little Mermaid colors?
I will
So
get
like teal
some,
and red.
I will get some
Whatever her little blue shells.
orange hair down to my ass. Probably some faux locks down to my butt. And then perhaps I would wear a mermaid themed outfit.
Okay.
It may not be like I'm not gonna wear a shell bra. It's cold, or well, it may not be cold, but just like that's not practical. But like
A lot of fashion is not practical.
yeah, but it's just like for
I mean,
me.
do you just
for me, it's
ever
not practical.
watch like a fashion show? Some of that is just like, oh no.
But like wearing
You would never wear that.
wearing a shell bikini top for me would have to be something like I'm not gonna be moving around that much.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to find one very explicitly created to not cause some sort of J-Lo moment. Because unless I would need really big shells and support. So that just wouldn't
What a
really-
flex.
I'm just saying it wouldn't make sense out.
What did you say you were gonna call them? Natural beauties?
What did she call them? Natural.
I thought it was.
I think it was natural beauties.
Yeah, natural beauties.
I think it was natural beauties. Yes.
Anyhow, continue.
But I definitely want to see it because it's up there for me with like Black Panther,
Yes.
which
yes.
we still need to get our outfits for.
Yes, I'm gonna get a white. I already have white.
All white.
All white. Yes.
All white. You know, maybe I'll do something with.
I
gold
already have
trim.
a pair of all white top 10 highs
You do.
that
you
I
do.
have never worn.
You haven't.
I have never worn them, and I would be willing to wear them even if it was raining. Even
If. You know what? Get some spray. Spray them down. You'll be good.
I would catch an Uber if it's raining.
Yeah. No walking.
No walking.
I'm really excited. I'm like I'm up here. I feel like I'm gonna be so emotional.
Yes,
Black Panther
it's gonna
comes
be
out.
an emotional movie. I really hope they nail the tone.
Well, from the trailer, it looks like
Yeah.
They have. So to me, Black Panther and Little Mermaid are top tier movies of the year for next year for me.
Yes.
So I'm very excited, and I'm looking forward to it. So that was all the stuff that I had, but I know that there have been some kerfuffles.
Yes. So
in your WW land,
AEW specifically. Yes. So CM Punk at All Out won the.
Can you explain to people what All Out is?
All Out is a pay-per-view event from a company that only has 4 or 5 of them a year. So each one is spaced out months in advance. They're planned, they're prepared. They come in with a story that they're going to pay off all at All Out. And All Out is like one of their bigger pay-per-views of the year, you know. It's basically like their WrestleMania, I would say. It's the equivalent of WrestleMania. And CM Punk was in a world championship match with Jon Moxley. In which he won. CM Punk won. And then after the event, there's like a media scrum where the wrestlers come back and they talk to the press. He goes off on a pipe bomb about how the elite, which are the EVPs of the company, executive vice presidents of the company, are like a bunch of children, calling them babies and telling them that they lie on him, and him going off on this other wrestler, Colt Cabana, and on Hangman Adam Page, he goes off. And then afterwards there's a kerfuffle because the elite, which consists of Nick and Matt Jackson, also known as the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega, who is just known as Kenny Omega, where they come into the room and fists were flying. Apparently somebody bit a dude, somebody moved the dog out of the way in order to make sure that the dog wasn't a part of the
there was a dog there?
kerfuffle. Yes, there was a dog involved, but the actual person, it was a person who bit somebody. Anyhow, yeah, it was crazy. And this has led to the elite, which are Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, to be suspended from AEW.
And that includes CM Punk.
Well, here's the tricky thing. There's no word yet on if CM Punk is suspended, and that's mainly because he has a torn pectoral muscle, and you can't fire somebody
They're injured?
if they're injured.
And are we sure that this is not
Or suspend them. You can't fire or
kind
suspend
of
them.
just a trope to get
No, this is not.
CM
I
Punk
know.
to be back to being a heel?
I know. First off, what you're asking is this a work?
Is it a work? Okay.
No, it is not a work, because the things that he was said were like it didn't make sense how you could make it into like a work, and also it was just completely unprofessional. It made the company. He was sitting right next to the president of the organization, and he did all that.
At what point, the when he was eating his muffin and he was all bloody?
Yeah.
And he was sitting next to that other guy who got. Who was that guy?
That was the president of All Elite Wrestling. Yeah.
The red hair he got, but he also got his title taken away.
Not red hair. You're thinking of the other one. I think that might have been Chris Jericho.
No, not him.
With red hair?
No, I'll look it up later. I don't know. It could have been red. It could have been dark, but it was just it was another
kind
wrestler.
of like okay. If it was a skinny guy,
he was skinny.
That would be Tony Khan.
And the other day, he said he was at the other time, before the match, he came on the screen. He was like,
"That's Tony Khan. He doesn't have orange hair."
Oh well, I thought it was like reddish. Like
no, it's like brownish black, brown.
Okay. Well, hey, we figured it out. So, he is part of what? Because he had
All Elite Wrestling. He is.
So that's why he was suspended as well.
What'd you say?
But he was suspended.
No, he's the president. He's not suspended.
He said he was stepping down from his title.
No, he said he vacated the titles.
What does that mean?
That means that no one has the titles.
Oh, I thought that meant he was vacating his, like, after.
No. He was vacating the trios championships and the heavyweight championship or the world championship.
Okay. I thought he was involved in the fight.
No, he was not involved in the fight. He
All
was
right.
involved in the press conference and that
Yeah.
he sat there and let CM Punk do all that without any sort of like cutting him off or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just sat there and watched it happen. But, you know.
All right. That's just what it is, I guess.
That is what it is.
Was that the...
That was the story.
That's it? That's all you want to talk about?
That's
Corey?
everything I have.
All right, so what we're going to do is we need to restart our live.
Yes.
So I'm going to do that,
Yes.
and then we're going to be back with our mental health and also what's grinding us and making us happy.
All that and more on the Black and Snerdy podcast.
You're listening to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
We're back.
Yes, we are. Wait, hold on. Nobody move, there's blood on the floor. And I can't find my heart. Where did it go? Did I leave it in the cold? So please give it back, 'cause it's not yours to take. It must have fell when I lost my mind. Deep in the cut, drowning in a pain. Somebody help, 'cause I can't find my way. Nobody move. Nobody move. Ooh, 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 That's all I'm doing.
I love that song.
That song is great, right?
Especially that ooh.
Yeah.
That part's my favorite.
That's part of my favorite as well.
Can you let the people know who sings that song and what it's called?
It is called Them Changes by Thundercat.
Thundercat.
Yes. Thundercat. Wow.
So we're back, and you know what happens? We've been doing for our mental health segment. Did we introduce our mental health segment yet?
Not yet.
We have not. So
No.
every week we like to check in with each other and ask, "How are you doing?" You know, and we've incorporated some quick questions in that so that we can dig a little deeper.
Yes.
All right. So, what? Ooh, maybe I should turn that right side up. Have you ever been so happy you cried?
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. That's every time I watch a Pixar movie, quite frankly.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I love those movies so much that they make me cry. And I'm happy that I'm seeing them. And I'm happy that I'm witnessing art. You know what I mean? Like, it's so moving and breathtaking. Maybe not Brave. Maybe that one movie. The one movie, the mom was the bear. Like I'm just like, all right.
I liked Brave.
And then the little babies turn into bears too. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, because they got cursed, and I'm just like, oh, it's supposed to be about a mom and daughter getting along, and I'm just like, there's nothing wrong. That's a good message. That's a good message. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the message. Just saying the execution of the story was a little bit muddled. That's all I am saying.
No one will begrudge you. You're just your
Okay, yeah.
opinions.
It's better than Cars. I'll give it that. It's
Well.
better than Cars. Cars is not that great. The trilogy, they didn't have to make a trilogy about cars. It's fine.
Kids love
kids
cars.
love cars, and they sold a lot of toys.
They
I get
still
it.
do.
They still do. There's Cars, Pampers.
There's cars, everything still to this
Yeah.
day. To this day.
To this day.
I will say this is not something that has historically been my thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, recently,
I stopped myself from doing something.
thank you. However, I would say very recently, within, I'm going to say the last few years, yes, there have been moments that have been very special to me that had me a bit verklempt,
Yes.
you know, and emotional. So, yes, and I think that happy tears are the only tears I want.
I mean, yes, I agree with you.
Yes.
Ideally, those are the only tears anybody would want.
I mean, yes, I'm just saying for me personally, some people like crying when they're sad. I know the people who like crying when they're sad. I don't like crying when I'm sad because I feel like I don't cry necessarily. Well, I do cry when I'm sad, but mostly I'll cry if I'm like really angry. Mm-hmm. And it gets me so pissed off because I feel like I'm not able to say what I want to say because I'm crying.
Yeah.
And you can't speak correctly when you're crying, which is always what pisses me off.
Yeah.
About the crying.
Yeah. It's hard to process those emotions.
And people are so focused on the crying that they can't get past what you're actually saying. And it's just like, it's not that hard.
Well, the crying is the thing, though. You gotta admit,
crying is the thing, but like, I'm crying, but I'm also speaking.
At a certain point, the crying becomes the thing, even if it's not the thing.
But I think you could both acknowledge the crying and also be like, well, I understand you're emotional, but what are you trying to say? Because if I'm emotional, I'm saying something, I don't want to have to repeat myself a bunch of times, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm saying for me personally.
Okay.
Happy tears are the only thing that I like.
I see what you did there. That was funny.
All right, well, how's your mental health been? What's been going on?
Well, after a short lapse, I got back on my medication.
Woot, woot, woot.
It was mainly short just because I wasn't taking my medication while I was taking my prescription drugs from the time that they took
so many
teeth, and I paid them for it. That's the fucked up part. I paid them to do it.
I mean, but the best part is that you had the money to pay them for it.
Yes, that is the best part.
You know?
I will concede that point to you. But yeah, I'm back on my medication. It's still gonna be another week or two until my last therapy session. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm at peace with it. I'm ready to just move on. And I know I've been saying this the last few weeks, but yeah, I just think that it's time. It's time for me to move on and try to do this on my own. Well, not on my own. I still have my medication, but which remind me that I have to go pick that up at some point.
I will.
Yes. Anyhow.
You won't be alone because you have your medication, and you also have a supportive.
Yes, I have
group of people,
a support network,
cool.
just a good support system. Yeah, feels good. Helping
you get through. So
thank you very much, and thank you for being a part of it.
You're welcome. So for me,
how has it been for you?
I would say things have been good. I mean, I've been working through a lot of different emotions, varied emotions, not for one particular issue or like I've been, working through a few things. Which has been, I feel like, I've been tired doing that. Emotional labor is tiring. But, I do appreciate not jumping to say something necessarily and like allowing myself time to think about what it is I want to say or do and not like just work out of emotion. Whatever that emotion might be, because I don't think it's not that emotional decisions are bad, but sometimes your emotions can cause you to make decisions that are not necessarily in your best interest.
Right.
And that's good, bad, in between. And so I like to move out of a place of not of impulsivity. I work hard to do that. So I feel like I'm still, there's still things that I know I have to take action on, and I've just been kind of trying to get my head around that. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I feel like things have been pretty good, and I'm glad that I've been able to see my therapist again and continue talking to her.
That sounds good. That sounds really good.
So what's up next?
What is up next? Of
What do
course.
we got?
What? Obviously, there are things that it's not always all that great. So let's just slide over to our gripes corner.
Bringing it. What? We gripe it. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe it. This safe space for us to share. We gripe it. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe it.
All right. How about you start us off? What is your gripes, my friend?
Oh, well.
Wow.
My gripes. I'm gonna be as short as I can because I have two things.
As you can.
As I can.
Yes.
Number one.
Mm-hmm.
My number one gripe in this world, I feel like at this current moment in time, is people who do shitty things to you on purpose, then turn around and want for you to be courteous to them. And it's like, you want someone to be courteous to you. Where was the courtesy when you decided to do what you did? Because there was no courtesy for me. And it just grinds my gears. It really does. It makes me angry because I feel like I as much as people annoy me, and when someone might annoy me in that moment, in that second, I'd be like, I want to punch you in the face, even if it's not a physical punch, like a literal, it could be a figurative punch.
Yeah,
in the face, you know?
like I hope something happens to you.
Yes.
I hope that when you try to put salt on your sandwich, the salt lid
just
comes
dumps
off
all
of,
over
and then you have just a salty sandwich.
And so, but like after I had that first thought, I'm like, you know what? It could have let me just calm down and move from reason versus emotion, because your emotions can sometimes lead you down the wrong path. But I feel like other people, they do not do that when it comes to me. Like, they won't want to give me sort of benefit of the doubt or anything and haul off on emotion. And then it's like, you want to be an ass to me, but you come to me wanting me to be kind to you. And I just don't get it, you know? And I hate the fact that about having to be the bigger person. Because when the problem is,
as well as I do, that being the bigger person is the hardest thing to do. It's one of the top 10 hardest things
the thing is,
for any human being to have to do.
Literally, ever since you're in like kindergarten, preschool, it's like, oh, this person hit you, but you shouldn't hit him back because you need to be the bigger person. Why do you think that I should be okay with allowing someone to harm me physically, emotionally, whatever? It's like, if somebody does something to me and I respond to them in kind, there should be no, oh, why would you do that? Oh, it wasn't that serious. No, it was that serious to me. But instead, it's, you have to have decorum and be, professional or whatever. No. Why? For what? Stop being assholes to people, and they won't be assholes to you. I feel like that's like one of the golden rules. You reap what you sow.
Yes.
Karma. Like, there's so many different ways that people say it. But it's just like, people are assholes to you.
People are assholes.
And then really want you to turn around and be like, sure, I want to help you. This is awesome. Like, where was all this? If you do something, Talk.
Where did all the bluster go?
Where did it go?
Where did it go?
Where was all that energy?
Yes. Keep the same energy.
Keep the same energy.
Nobody keeps the same energy. And if everybody would just keep the same energy. First off, don't have energy. Like if you have bad energy, take that bad energy.
Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. It's not even on here, but I was gonna say miss me with that bullshit.
Well, miss me with it.
Yes.
Miss me with it.
Yes.
And the second thing that made me angry, I saw this video in from Las Vegas where this older black couple are seeing some show. And wherever they are, it looks like he's in a wheelchair. So it looks like they might be in like a designated area for people with disabilities because it was a big block of space outside of where everybody else was standing. And they're probably like late, like 70s and up.
Mm-hmm.
All these white people keep coming up to them and like dancing with him. And he's like, stop it. Like the women are like in bikinis. And they're coming up and like laughing, and she's like saying, "Leave my husband alone." And they keep making a joke, kind of like in a way playing like monkey in the middle. Like she gets one person away, and then another one would come up and like dance on him. And then like one guy came up to him and was talking to him like nicely. And then all of a sudden, like when the wife's not looking or she's trying to protect him from this other woman, the guy starts like rubbing up on him, and it's just like. This is just so rude and disrespectful to do to anybody, but especially like older people who you see are at like a disadvantage, and just like why is this a thing? And why is nobody?
Why are we bullying our elders? Why are we socially bullying our elders?
And I think I only saw one person who looked like they interrupted and say, "Hey, leave them alone." And the fact that nobody stood up and said, like, "Listen, leave these people alone, because if you don't, we're gonna be dancing with each other."
Where was this?
In Las Vegas.
Oh man, really?
It was in Las Vegas. I couldn't tell where they were.
It's Las Vegas.
But it wasn't like they were in the middle of some sort of raucous rave.
No, I know. It was
where
like
you could expect people.
they were
like
just
so
on
many
the
people
beach.
were just. They were like on the. There's no beaches in.
Sorry, they were
strip.
at the strip.
But they were at a venue. Nobody in the crowd was like going crazy hype. So it wasn't like
they're old. So unless the crowd is dancing to like Neil Diamond, they're not gonna get.
There
hyped.
were a lot of people in the wherever the space they were, but it's not like where they were was somewhere where it was clearly like this super club atmosphere where people were drunk and going crazy. It was these kids, these not even kids. They looked like they were in their late 20s, early 30s, were violating this couple, and people just stood around and just stared, or like this one person was recording. And it's like, put your phone down, or at least if you want to record to say like, "Oh, I'm helping," fine. Get somebody with you to be like, go over there and be like, "Stop doing that. Leave those people alone." Like, you have to be able to do more than one thing at the same time.
Right.
Like, you want to get the video footage, fine, but get the footage while also being proactive and helping the people that you're so excited to gather this data on, but you're not excited to actually help and do something.
Yeah.
But that was what was grinding me this week. What about you?
Just a general blanket statement to all my friends. I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. I am grateful to be in your life, and I'm grateful that y'all are in my life. Please, at least give me a week or two's break from coming to me with all your problems. Like, not all of y'all do it, but the ones who do it, if you could just give me like a week to like recharge, because otherwise it's just a constant barrage. And don't get me wrong, I like helping my friends, and I like listening and confiding with them and stuff, because that's what I would want them to do for me. I just need like a week, just like a week in between sessions.
You know what I found is helpful?
It could be exhausting.
When you're talking to your friends, or really anyone that you would be gonna like kind of talk about something that might be emotionally heavy, to just be like, hey, are you in a space, however way you speak, do you have the bandwidth to talk about this right now? Do you have the space, the emotional capacity to talk about me like doing this thing right now? Because I'm really stressed out and I want to talk to you about it. Especially if you might be someone who you feel like has maybe more problems than the average Joe or Jane. Like, can I talk to you about this right now? Because I know that I come to you about things a lot.
Yes.
I think because I feel like I saw that a few years ago about before you talk to anybody in your life about something that's like super heavy, be like, can we do this right now? Because I think that one thing we don't recognize all the time is that secondhand trauma is a thing.
Yes.
And so if your friends or family, any of your loved ones are experiencing something really traumatic for them and stressful for them, that stress can like come to you as well.
Yes.
So it's not that your friends don't want to talk to you about things and your family doesn't want to go over what things are hard for you at that time, but you have to know that other people are also going through things, even if it's your spouse.
Yes.
They could be also going through their own things in their life, and we just sometimes need to
be reminded of that.
Have a break from having to deal with all of these extra problems.
Yes.
That are, from other people.
Yes. So if we could just keep that in mind moving forward, otherwise my week has been perfect.
So I think that means we can go to our what things that gave us joy.
Yes, the things that made us happy.
I'm the baby merchant. Tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I love your baby for you.
I
love that song. I do too. I wish I want to play it at my funeral.
Gonna be a time. You know what? Putting in that, I'm gonna write that down for you.
Yeah, making
a note.
Yeah, make a mental note. I need to make a will. But yeah, I want that to be like.
It's such a good song.
I'm not saying they need to bury me in that song. I just mean that at some point during the reception,
it's gonna bring levity.
I'm the baby merchant.
Tots are us.
I give you. Oh, and you know what? I'll leave $20,000 to anybody who makes a drill beat remix of Baby Merchant.
Is this after your death?
Yeah, I'll put it in my will.
So $20,000 to whoever makes a drill beat version. Does it have to chart?
Yes.
It has to chart. Okay. What number? What number? What range?
At least at least the top 50.
Top 50. Okay. All right. A drill beat of Baby Merchant, top 50. But you also have to add in your own kind of flavor. You can't just have the whole song just read.
Baby Merchant. I want to know the merchant. That's always my go-to when it comes to drill, and it should be Chief Keef.
Oh, but Pop Smoke is such a jam.
Baby Merchant. Merchant. That's that shit I don't like. That's the song that I'm doing.
Okay. Honestly, I'm not really familiar with that many of their songs, so.
Well, okay.
Besides that, that's the shit I don't like. I couldn't tell you anything else.
Okay.
And I didn't know that was their song.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, what things are making you happy this week?
As always, doing this podcast with you, and for having what feels like the first time in forever a weekend to just relax and sleep and chill and just exist. Because I don't think people recognize how important it is for us as Black people to take a moment to ourselves just to exist. That is a joy and a gift and a pleasure and an honor. And I'm glad I was able to do that this weekend.
You know what? That's true. I mean, it's also an honor to be able to experience.
No, I know. It's a
joy.
bunch of honors out there, and
You
there's
know?
some of the honors toward doing shit, I guess. But there's a quiet dignity when it. Is that me?
I don't know. Oh no, maybe it was me. I don't know. Sorry. I thought this is what happens when you're live. I thought my computer was on
Silent?
silent.
Yeah.
I thought
Anyhow.
I was muted. Sorry.
No, it's okay. There's a quiet dignity in just existing, and I'm glad I got to do that this weekend. What about you? What made you happy?
Number one, of course, is doing this podcast with you.
Air horns.
Air horn, air horn, air horn, air horn. And okay, what else made me happy this week? Well, I started doing like work at work. And so it's been like really stressful and taxing, but I'm glad that I
am out of the training phase.
No, I'm still in the training phase, but I'm glad that I'm actually kind of getting to see what all the training, like how I'm going to be using it.
Yes.
In some ways. We got to hang out this week, like after work, which was great. That was really fun.
Mm-hmm. We, as in you and me?
Well, when I said we, who else would it be?
You and a coworker? Because you said you hung out after work?
No, I said that we got to hang out after work.
Yeah, while you were still talking about your work. So you could have been...
You're correct. You know what? You are correct.
Thank you.
No, not my coworker.
As in you and I.
And I.
Yes.
Which was fun because we
yes.
haven't done that in a long time.
Yes, that was fun.
And I think that you want to know what really brought me joy this week? The conflagration, the coming together of all of the different oppressed people from the British or people who have been oppressed by the British monarchy coming together to voice their various
It made for good tweets. It made for good tweets.
Viewpoints because
Yes.
it just never ended.
Yes, it made for really, really good media for the day.
It just, honestly, somebody made a joke about, they said that they're going to need the day off when 45 dies because they're going to need to be able to pay attention to Twitter that day. And honestly, yes. But all right, that's all that I got.
That's all that all of us has. So why don't we get on out of here?
Yes.
And we will be back next time. Keep an eye out on this page for when we announce that we're going to do another live. And we will be back with another episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast.
Are you going to sing them out?
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.